Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
We are learning Mishna Nedarim, Perek Beis, Chapter 2, Mishnah Gimel, Mishnah 3. Okay, this is going to be another example of where a neder is more stringent, or call it more stringent, or more applies where a shvua doesn't. All right, so the Mishnah begins with the following statement: Yesh neder b'seich neder. You can have a neder within the term of another neder, ve'ein shvua b'seich shvua. But you cannot have a shvua within the term of another shvua. Okay? So that's the rule. A neder can take effect within the term of another neder, while the shvua cannot take effect within the term of another shvua. Keitzad. How so? What's the case? Now, before we get into the case, just to remind ourselves, there's something called taking upon yourself to be a nazir, which means when you say that you're a nazir, that forbids you on grape products, cutting your hair, and becoming tamei, spiritually impure through a dead body. A nazir is called a neder. That's what it is. It is defined as a neder. It falls under the category of neder. And therefore, with that, Amar Hareini Nazir im Eichal. A person says, if I eat that loaf of bread, I make myself a nazir. And then again he says, Hareini Nazir im Eichal. I am a nazir if I eat that loaf of bread. We're talking about the same loaf. And twice he says, I am a nazir if I eat that loaf of bread. The achal, and he ate it. Chayav al kol achas va'achas. He is now obligated to fulfill, to keep Naziris for each time that he said it. So what that means is that this person said, if I eat the bread, I make myself a Nazir. And then he says again, if I eat this bread, I make myself the Nazir. And he ate it. So practically speaking, what happens? What happens is like this. When a person says, I make myself a Nazir without specifying a length of time, the minimum time for being a Nazir without specification is a month, 30 days. Okay, 30 days. All right. So this guy said, I'm a Nazir if I eat the bread. All right, he ate the bread. He becomes a Nazir for 30 days. He goes through the process of being a Nazir for 30 days. He brings the sacrifices that you bring at the conclusion of being a Nazir. And then what does he do? He does another one. Because since we're saying yesh neder b'seich neder, the fact that he made a neder and now he made another one doesn't exclude the other one from taking effect. The other one can take effect. Now, taking effect means that even though I already took upon myself to be a nazir, nonetheless, I can obligate myself for a second time. Now, practically speaking, regarding the fulfillment of the neder of nazir, you can't do both at the same time. You got to do one, then you got to do the other. But the mere fact that you have to do the second one is because when you declared twice, I am a nazir if I eat, I'm a nazir if I eat, the second neder of nazir took effect. You became obligated that if you go and eat this loaf of bread, you're going to have to keep two naziris. Practically speaking, you can only keep one and then the other. But this is an example of neder b'seich neder. You obligated yourself to be a nazir, again, if you eat the bread. You took again a second time being a nazir for the same thing. Nonetheless, they both take effect. So therefore, that's what the Mishnah means when it says, chayav kol achas va'achas. Whatever amount of times you said that you will make yourself a nazir for eating this loaf of bread, that's how many times you're going to be obligated to keep the naziris, because the fact that I already made one naziris does not stop me from obligating myself for another one. Okay, over this and on the same thing. However, let's say a person goes like this: Shavua shaloi eichal. He makes a shvua. I'm not going to eat this loaf of bread. Right? So shvua means he, takes upon himself a shvua to forbid him from eating the bread. Then again, shvua shaloi eichal. Again, he says a second time, shvua, that I'm not going to eat this loaf of bread. Same loaf. Ve'achal, and he ate it. Right? That means he didn't keep his shvua, right? He made a shvua not to eat, and he ate it. but he said shvua twice. So how many times? So says the Mishnah, you're only liable for one. Liable here means to get malchus, to get lashes for making a shvua in vain. So we say here, the guy said, shvua, I'm not going to eat this loaf of bread. A second time, shvua, I'm not going to eat the loaf of bread. And he ate. He didn't keep the shvua. He's punished for that. He gets lashes. How many shvuas did he break? One.
Only one piece of
bread. Not to make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. There was only one piece of bread there by the Nazar also. It's the same piece of bread. But the point here is that when you make a shvua, you cannot affect another shvua on top of that. If you already made a shvua on something, so within that term of the shvua, you cannot make another shvua on that. And therefore, the second shvua doesn't take effect. So how many shvuas did you transgress? You transgressed one. Okay? And therefore, as the Mishnah says, you're only liable for one. However, the Bartanura points out that the Mishnah says you're only liable for one. It doesn't say I only have one shvua here. It says I'm only liable for one. And what that means is that there is a process, the same way we're used to Mishna Nedarim, you can annul a vow, a nether. There's something as she'ela b'shvua. You can also annul it. You can also annul a shvua. So let's say in this case, a person made a shvua, I'm not going to eat this loaf of bread. Then he said again, shvua, I'm not going to eat this loaf of bread. And then he annulled the first one. The second one will now come into effect. If the first one is in effect, the second one doesn't come into effect. But it's waiting for a chance, so to speak, to come in. If the first one goes away, it will take effect. And you're going to have to be shoyal on that second one too. So the point is, so even though you're only liable for one, that means the shvua, you made a shvua, you're making a second shvua on the same thing, it doesn't take effect. And therefore, there's practically speaking, so to speak, only one shvua. You transgress the shvua, you get one malchus. I only transgressed one shvua. However, that doesn't mean that the other shvua doesn't, so to speak, exist. It's kind of floating around, waiting for a chance for it to come into existence if the first one goes off. If I break the first one, you don't say the second one comes in. I don't think so. It doesn't sound like that. It's only if you are shayel, if you annul the first one, then the second one can take effect. So even though we say you cannot affect the shvua within another shvua, you can't affect it. It won't have any ramifications. Other than it won't have any ramifications in case you break it, in case you don't keep the shvua. However, it has ramifications that were you to annul the first shvua, then that second one would take effect, and you'd still be obligated by that shvua not to eat the bread unless you were shoyal, unless you annulled the second shvua also. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.